It's all yours.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate your time and your information.
I always enjoy coming here. Well, let me, gosh, there's my wife walking in the door.
He's just underway.
Oh, who is this?
Nancy.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had the opportunity to meet all of you. I'm sure that
I'm gonna sit over there.
sometime, someplace, I've seen you all. You've seen me probably. So it's nice to see you again. And nice to be here. And I hope that I can get you all started a little bit as amateur archaeologists. That would be great. But at least it would be fun. You know, I like to get the boys into much of what I do and say. And in this case, the boys had a notion about archaeology, which I'll tell you about in a minute. They didn't like archaeology. I must tell you that. And I found out about the site that's down over the hill there through various publications that had been made, old ones. And so I knew that there was a site down there. I didn't know anything about it, but I knew it was there. So I had gathered together a group of about 20 students from the various universities, so young students that wanted to come and work on an archaeological dig. I guess they made a little money, but real little, because they didn't have much, which is one reason I've come to you. Not personally, of course, but for maybe some experience in archaeology. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work too. Well, at any rate, to get back to my story here, the boys didn't like the fact that 20 people were coming onto their property, and we were actually working next door. Can't remember the names.
Wagner.
Pardon?
Wagner?
Yeah, Wagner, right.
Doris Wagner's house.
But
Yeah.
a door shop.
Well, what happened was that they were doing a rehab of their house, and they were building in the garage, and before they poured the cement, the whole place was just covered with artifacts and other kinds of things that archaeologists are interested in. And so I looked over there, looked at their garage. Oh my gosh, there must be a huge site here. And so I talked to the property owners at that point, and they said, oh, yeah, if there's something there that interests you, just go ahead. So we, of course, did something we call just surface collection, and that collection was put away as a separate kind of collection. Well, that was very I must apologize to you. I just got over shingles, and one of the things is you have a hard time getting it out. So
It's all right.
please forgive me for this. at any rate, one of the boys came down and three others came down and they were looking over the fence, not far away from their property, which came right up.
Oh, they were looking where the garage foundation is going?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. You didn't get any artifacts, did you? No, okay. Well, as I said, the boys looked over the fence and I could see that they were really giving us a scrutiny. I mean, they were really looking at it, so, whoa. But anyhow, I said, well, if there's gonna be stuff on this side, it's gotta be on the other side too. So we looked over there and it was much nicer because it wasn't a garage. It was, they were, the things we could find were right on the surface or maybe down that deep. So we wanted to get on the other side. So I went up and talked to the boys a little bit, and they just didn't seem interested at all. I was getting more and more worried. Well, the next day, or maybe the next day after that, one of the boys came down and stood where we were working, and he said, well, I don't think we can have you working down here. This is a big, beautiful forest, and you'll be digging holes in it, stuff like that. So he went away, and I went away. I did something he didn't do, though. Anyhow, I won't get too far there. He said, you know, well, we've talked it over and we've decided that we can't have you over here. Well, by that time I knew that from the surface collections that was something we wanted to dig. And it went all the way through the woods, or almost, but, you know, very much what we wanted to be finding there, which I'll tell you in a minute. So, as I said, I was really very depressed by this. Likewise, the students who wanted something better than a garage floor to be spending their summers. Well, at any rate, a few days later, one of the boys came up to the fence again. I don't remember which one. He called me over and he said, we've changed our mind. You can come over the fence and dig on this side. And boy, was I happy to hear that. And the next thing that happened was the boys kind of lined up right on the fence line watching the students digging and what all. And they went away, and at some time they came back and said, we've changed our mind. You can come over the fence. Be careful in the woods, but you can come over. So we were all very happy with that. And
How long did the students work? How many days, a week, a month?
oh, no, it was closer to a week.
A week.
Yeah.
So the boys kept checking on them, the brothers.
Watching us. They watched us a lot. I don't know whether they thought we were going to harm their woods or what, but they watched and watched. And I said to one of them, well, what took you so long to decide? And he said, well, I've just been standing here for a week or so, and we've noticed that, you know, you're very careful with your work, that you take pictures, that you diagrams, you do all that stuff. You have a
Telescope, microscope,
yeah,
magnifying glass.
yeah,
Telescope.
yeah, thank you. So at any rate, I'll use you for my linguistic. Okay, at any rate, I was asked why did you decide? He said, well, we looked at what you're doing very carefully. We had our little discussion up at the house, and we saw that you were working very carefully, very steadily, but you were doing things that you knew how to do. And he said, that's how we work. So if you look like we work, you ought to be doing the same thing. So you can work here. So we, you know, that as the summer went on, they watched us a lot, and they were, of course, totally amateurs at this, but in some ways they weren't. Excuse me. Some ways they weren't they knew how to do it in a different way, actually, than we were doing it, because we weren't putting, these were students we were working with, and they couldn't be pushed too hard, but they knew after a while that there was a rhythm to this, the taking off the sod, going down, looking for any disturbance of the soil, throwing the the screen, the soil, and throw it through a screen to find artifacts. But the really interesting thing we found down there in the woods were patterns in the soil, little brown patterns like this, and dark, some of them really black. And so we wondered what that was for a while, but as it turned out, these were later what we called post molds. They were posts in the mold, in the ground, and then the post would rot away and leave this black thing. So after a while, we would look at these, and they would make a pattern, a circle usually with a break in it, a house, a wigwam. 10 people living in a place that's probably 10 feet around, but there's a fire, and that would keep everybody warm. So, and that was true all winter. So we learned something there about the way of life of these people, which we became to call late woodland. And they're very much like other folks around here and a little bit further on, some cases a lot further on. And so that was a very interesting thing we found. We also found in the area a prayer place, and we found zillions of fish bones. They lived on the lake. They knew how to fish. And that was part of their subsistence pattern. There's also the bones of deer, of course, we would suspect, a whole variety of animals. And so we found out a great deal of how these people lived. Something of the past brought into the future. That's archaeology for you. And I'm hoping that we can form a little partnership here today. I can teach you a little bit about archaeology, and we'll maybe get some excavations to work on, so you can do this for yourself. Not hard, really. So, if I noticed today, and looking over your various things, that if we had a new title on the top, it would be exactly like the historic archaeology place that we live. And I should say, the organization that we do have, just like this, the same amount of money, the same number of people. And we know how that rhythm works when our friends go to Florida and we stay here and we have more fun.
Chuck, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you organized the dig that we did down
Yeah.
on our property,
Yes,
on the south side of that access road years ago, I don't know how long ago that was, but you organized it with transects,
right.
lines, and we would shovel test. How did you approach that going across the fence? Did you set up transects, or did you just kind of look around and start digging a little bit? And did you shake out stuff with the little shaker boxes?
Well, we had much bigger ones, but that was the same thing.
Did
Except
you
had to
transects?
throw- You have to throw the soil
Oh, okay, you
above
threw it into
threw
the
it.
box.
with the shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work.
How did you know where to start? It just kind of lined up with what was on the other side of the fence?
Well, actually, that fence, and when it was put in, was a historic feature. And we're interested in historic features too. Many times because there was old roads, or as in here, like a picnic area. The lumbering people probably used that little area in there to do what they had to do up here. You would know this stuff better than I do, but it was not just Indians that lived down there, that's my point. It was also our early pioneers that were down there.
They lived right along the lake?
Yes, on the lake, right?
Oh, there were white people and Indians.
Probably not at the same time, but close.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that I thought there were only Native Americans along the lake there.
Well, there was for a while, until we took away their land.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a thing I read the other day. No matter how large and rich excuse me again, how large and rich a society is, or how poor and small, they all live on lands taken from native people. Sorry.
That's the way the
That's
world
what
has
I-
gone.
Yes, that's the way it was done.
Thank you.
So that brings me to another point here. You can go if I
No, go ahead.
Here's another point. with the soil and grass and trees that grows on our area, there's two worlds, maybe three, but at least two worlds. It's our world, which has its own bunch of artifacts, which archaeologists call historic archaeology. And we will work and we run across a chain or something like that that was used in the lumber era. We'll take that and preserve it with a number. So we might not be too interested in that right now. But someday somebody will put open a drawer and say, I know who made this chain and where it came from and all about it. So there's a place for all of us really in archaeology. And as I said, archaeology is two worlds. There's our world and a world beneath it. I can't tell you what that world beneath it is, other than it's a whole historic area down there. And so it's not just for Native people we're interested in. We're interested in the historic part of our own, you have it out there in the garden. I don't need to tell you about it. In fact, wouldn't even try. You all know a lot about the archaeology of this area. As I said, I don't need to tell you because you know more than I do. But I would like to have you learn a little bit about archaeology by actually getting out there and do some digging. We have students and a lot of helpers to help me do that for you. Now, what could you possibly do for us?
Well, we gotta get permission from the people that own the ground for one, right?
That's fine.
I guess we'll go from there.
Well, how about giving these people some money?
How much you got?
He means the archaeology committee so that we can buy
And I
things.
don't mean that.
No.
Yeah.
This is a rather expensive thing, and I can tell you that all of the universities of Michigan have these programs, every one of them. And so almost always there's a couple of courses, or maybe even more than that, that will take their students out in the field and do what I just described. There are also many non-archaeologists. That's not what I meant to say. There are many people who have not gone to a university to learn what it is that have, but have become interested just as
Just like me, like I did.
Shirley.
Yeah.
A lot of Shirleys. A lot of people that really are interested and really can participate.
How many actual digs or excavation, like big scale, have been done here? Only the one in the 60s, or have there been other times that Michigan State or somebody else has done digs, because they would have to kind of go by what you guys set out first to know what's already been dug and then go on to the next. I can't imagine that everything has been already combed. I mean, is there like a certain percentage that has never been dug down there, or?
Yeah, a large percentage. I can't tell you how I could figure it out from our notes, which are down at Michigan State, so it's not handy for me to look at those notes, but I can, or I can get them to ship them up here,
Right.
which I'm thinking of doing soon.
I mean, would there be a reason, like, maybe do a grant or something, do it like a big dig again or something? Then everybody could learn from that, as it was actually done by the school and people that have done it before, or something that we could be part of.
Yeah, well, it's part of our professional ethics.
People coming in.
I mean, say you're digging a site, I can't go in and start.
I was told by Brett Bell, who started this organization, remember Brett Bell?
I do.
He said a lot of this land is not gonna be touched for a long time. We wanna leave it intact
That's,
as virgin land
Marianne, what you saying,
Yes,
until there are instruments invented that can excavate the ground without excavating.
well, we do
we're
have
there.
those now.
Yeah, he said that's what he wanted to do, to keep it unexcavated on purpose. He didn't want to excavate every inch
It's
of it.
like putting it in the bank, we say. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I would assume though, when he did the dig way back, that when the Sample Brothers said, like, you guys take care of what you're doing, I'm sure you put it back to a decent, I mean, you kind of
well,
put stuff.
we didn't really know anything at the beginning, that there was, material
Right,
there. We hoped there would be, and there was. But it's because of the garage, that we even had an opportunity
right.
to find out, which we did. And it wasn't just there, we had some pot shards. So a lot of information that we were able to gather on a period we call the late woodland. There's late woodland sites all up to the lake shore and I'm preparing a book now. Not as I would like to have it faster, but I'm working on it. If one sees along the lake shore of Lake Michigan from here to here, there are numerous late woodland sites. These are big sites, much bigger than we have down here, I think. I'm not actually positive, but I think. And as all archaeologists know, there's a lot of thinking going on. But we have ways to share. We have,
But digging is still the preferred way to do it versus the X-ray equipment they have now?
yes. If we use one of these machines down there, what are we gonna do? Cut every tree down?
Oh, it's a big machine, huh?
A big machine, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
And, well, I mean, it's maybe one row of chairs like over there. So it's, fairly big. And it's much better if you're on an open field, which a lot of sites are, by the way. Somebody else cut all the trees down before we got there. When they cut them down, then they took the roots over and dig up big clod of dirt with artifacts in it. So the context is ruined, and we have to worry about that. Archaeologists do it as a as a archaeological, I'm sorry, a place that if you want to do the best for the stuff you're digging, and you want to save some, as right, Bill?
Save it. You wanna save it?
Yeah, if you want, you always save some because we're not gonna be around forever. So we want the situation so somebody with a bigger, better machine.
That's what I understood from Brett. He said you don't wanna excavate all of it. Save it for future generations of
Yes.
archaeologists.
He
So
was
who's to
very-
decide what should be excavated and what shouldn't?
Yeah. Well, what I'd like to see is you guys and gals learn how to dig in a positive way, just like our friends, the three boys that lived here, and though they didn't know how to dig, they knew what was it about, and
Right.
you know, you had to be careful, photograph, do lots of things which today we take as, you know, something we always have done, which isn't true, of course, because archaeology has been going on now for quite a few years, thousands of years. Michilimackinac has a site there that is the longest continuous site excavations, I think, in the world.
Really, in the world?
In the world, yes. They've dug there, I think, something like 30 straight summers. So, fortunately, they have the Mackinac Island State Park Commission, which supplies materials and all the other stuff you need to work and
But
be
we
in
don't
the
have
field.
that kind of money.
Huh?
We don't have that kind of money.
I know, I didn't expect you did. Most of us who are just like something like that.
Yes, so I think what we're gonna accomplish a beginning of when we do this class in August
Yeah.
with our board members, we'll start that education for them.
Yeah.
And we actually
And
need
look
to
at
move
the
on with our
coffee
meeting
and
now, so,
donuts, too.
yeah.
Okay,
We, surely, and you may be aware that we have a list of equipment we're
Yeah.
gonna try and buy
Right.
Yeah.
through a grant, so we will be better equipped.
Yes.
And
I
certainly,
mean, when you get down to it, getting equipment means saving the site. Because every time someone in Northern Michigan puts in a road, builds a summer house, on, they unknowingly destroy archaeological sites. And that's very, very common, because in many areas like lakesides, as we all know, that's expensive property, and it's property that's almost always going to be destroyed very soon. They're going to cite right now if that's the case. And fortunately, the property owner was knowledgeable and sympathetic people, as some of you know, that's pretty rare. People do this, as I said, just happens, they don't go out there and take their car and run it over the site. At least most people don't.
Well, one of the best, well, last summer, we had one of the most incredible points come in from the White Birch Lodge
Yeah,
in Elk Rapids that was found up by the road during an excavation for the property. But he was smart enough to capture that and now has invited us to come back and do our own excavation.
right.
So that's rare.
And I hope that maybe some people like I, not an archaeologist,
Yeah,
could be teaching you.
right.
You could all have fun at doing this. It's, sure, it's
Oh, yeah.
hard work, but we have fun too.
It's fun, yeah.
Well, Chuck, what year was it that you had the students here doing that?
I think it was 63,
I think so.
66,
65 to 6.
65, 66.
Yeah, do you have any more questions for Chuck? Because we should
So-
proceed
so
on with the
all
rest of the
those
meeting too.
Artifacts that were found, where are they at today?
For around here,
We have some here, and most of the MSU ones are at MSU.
So where in MSU are they? If we wanted to go see them, where would we?
I don't know.
Are they hiding them?
they
It's a whole
aren't,
nother dig.
they aren't really very handy.
You'd have to make
There's
an
they
appointment.
have a big,
Yeah.
half as big as this room, just of drawers, that archaeologists have produced for a long time.
Was a photographic, I'm sorry, was a photographic record made at the time?
Yes,
Okay, so would those records be also available?
well,
The photographic records? Would
yes,
those be
they
available
would, they
also?
would be there. And
I think
also
that,
all the field notes would be there.
I think that Shirley's invitation to the board to plan on attending this class is a step in the right direction. Because for the past few years, we've been talking about switching our attention from agriculture to archaeology, to really pump up the archaeological part of it. So I think that this is a step in the right direction.
Well, I would say they're not, sorry again. They don't,
They don't have to be separate.
yes, they don't have to be separate.
Right. And that's, I mean, that's what this farm is a combination of archaeology and agriculture and community and everything
Yeah.
else.
Well, there's a way that's been used to find artifacts without disturbing the soil
Right.
that much. And other ways to preserve and to find and preserve sites. In fact, I think that was it Birch something?
Yeah.
White Birch Lodge.
White Birch
Yeah.
Lodge,
I think that would be a nice
nice
thing
place to
to
start.
start with.
Well, it's a step in the right direction.
Right.
Thank you so much
Thank
for.
you.
Thank you for
it's
coming.
good
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, I hope you all will be better off.
That was not your tip.
That was for cleaning clothes.
Right.